Thank you, chairs, and hello everybody in conference hall. Uh, you can see here that I belong to the Ministry of Communication in IT. The table of contents is introduction. In introduction, I generally go through e-government ideas. Then I go to Afghanistan profile. In Afghanistan profile, I will just explain about Afghanistan in shortly. I was thinking to bring e-government strategic framework to the beginning, number 3, but then I changed to the ongoing ICT government projects. In the number 4, I will go to the capacity for e-government in Afghanistan. In number 5, e-government strategic framework of Afghanistan at the end, SWOC analysis. Because of shortness of time, I'm thinking to ignore this introduction because we have already talked many times about e-government and the benefits of e-government. I will start from here, Afghanistan profile. You can see here the map of Afghanistan. Neighbor countries of Afghanistan is Pakistan in the south, which have a long border with Pakistan. In Iran, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. We have 34 provinces and 380 districts. Afghanistan was ranked 168 out of 192 countries by the UN e-government survey 2010. Over the years, e-government in Afghanistan has a development at a very slow pace. This is just on Southern Asia country. You can see Afghanistan here, but I hope to be better in the future. In here, I'm going to talk about our international donors, partners, and key strategic areas of the assistance by international development partners, including building capacity of the state, increasing accountability to citizens, combating corruption, peace and security, private sector development, role development in poverty reduction. In our donors are World Bank, UNDP, European Union, Afghanistan Development Bank, and USAID. In these areas which I mentioned above. Now I'm going to ongoing project of e-government, ICT and e-government in Afghanistan. You can see the indexed here. Key performance indicators for the telecom in IT, fax, telephone penetrations, mobile phone penetrations in number of cities, towns, villages connected, communication. Sorry, I cannot see from here. Let me to change. In foreigner direct investment by million USD dollar, internet user penetration, telecom direct penetration in indirect employers. You can see from 2005, 2007, 2009, and 2010. The figures are very different. Till 2010, and if you see at the end of 2010, you will see a very big difference from 2005. In the telecom statistics in the end of December 2010, before this, I will explain here that we have our Afghanistan Telecommunication Regulatory Authority for the telecommunications. In the GSM subscribers, in telecom statistics, you will find the GSM subscribers, CDMS subscribers, landlines, penetrations, investment in millions, telecom base station, and population coverages. And you can see here, I will not go to the figures one by one due to the shortness of time. Ongoing ICT government, communication towers. And this is, you can see from 2002 to 2010. This is a big difference. In 2002, we do not have any tower in Afghanistan, but now in 2010, we can have more than 4,500, around 5,000 towers. In mobile subscribers, in 2010, we do not have mobile in Afghanistan. 2002, but in 2010, you can have more than 150,000 lakh people can have mobiles, using mobile. Cost of national calls in Afghanistan per minute. In 2002, it was around, it is around 100 something, but I think this figure is something, but in 2010, it's only one Afghani, which is very low, 0.01 or $2. Cost of international calls in Afghanistan, in year 2002, it's cost around 100, but in 2010, it's around 3 Afghanis, 3 to 5 Afghanis. Now I'm going to explain here the current ongoing e-government projects in Afghanistan in the Ministry of Communication. E-National ID card. We already launched National ID card, electronic national identification card, which 2 projects are integrated with that, e-license and e-vehicle registration. And we are also working on e-voting, e-health, e-passport, and land titling, customer reception desk, electronic document management system, and we already launched it, but it's only maybe in the end, the project is going to, in the end, AT website for government organizations. And we recently signed with the World Bank a new project, mobile government project. And other thing, e-government strategic for master plan and program implementation. Here I would also like to mention in this place, I'm thankful, I'm happy to have my colleagues here, Dr. Thomas, which is the head of United Nations International Institute of Software and Technology in Macau, China. They have helped us in this draft, strategic draft and program implementation draft. And another is, you can see here in the map that Afghanistan fiber optic connection with the neighbors. Afghanistan, this is connection for the neighbors. And here I will generally talking about overall projects in Afghanistan in the different ministries. According to the survey result, a total of 63 IT and e-government related projects are currently going in 14 agencies in the different areas like IT infrastructures, building based platform for e-government, improving public management. In communication network building projects, we have such a national fiber optic, village communication network, national copper cable network, Ministry of Education network project, one laptop per child project, and another we have the improvement management within the government. We have these things that AFMIS, aid management system, integrated finance MIS, and there's such a thing that these are all projects. Ongoing ICT e-government projects, and we also have another that ICT related capacity buildings, innovative. American University, IT enabling, they are working in these areas. IT enabling training programs in e-learning system. Cooperation Center for Afghanistan are working access to justice, promoting democracy and human rights training. Bank Millia of Afghanistan in Kabul Bank are working on IT-enabled bank services. We have technical resources here, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Public Health, and Ministry of Education and MCIT are among the agencies with the most PCs in biggest networks. You can see that in the graph, there is all the government agencies which have the PCs and how many, whether we have the technical, how many resources we have in Afghanistan. But the Ministry of Finance in Health, Education, and MCIT in the top. Number of PCs rank from 2030 to in Ministry of Finance, and 22 to MMRD, the highest and the lowest in other more in bandwidth in different areas in Afghanistan. In the internet bandwidth user by external stakeholder rank from 64 kbps to 30 MP. Human resource. According to the survey result, number of the staff in the government agencies varies of the maximum to 16,000 Ministry of Education with around 75,000 with a higher education. Higher in the medium, what in the graph. Finance resources. Largest budget for the IT is allocated to the Ministry of total 20 million Afghani. Next three with a similar IT budget are the Afghanistan Bank, Ministry of Education, and Ministry of Interior, and others. Afghanistan e-government strategic framework. Before going to a strategic framework, I would like to explain government internal issue, current government internal issues in learning case study for this strategic framework which we had. Government factors and issues, international perspective according to Millennium Development Goals, ending poverty and hunger, universal education, mental and child health, in which e-government can contribute by providing new opportunity to access information, knowledge, and services. This is from the international perspective. Here, I'm going to expand national perspective. Independence and effectiveness of the judiciary system is low. Personal information is not protected. Transparency has not been raised as an issue in the government in order to solve corruption problems. Security and war issue, these are the current issues in the government. And you can have external stakeholder in government. Geographic and demographic factors and issues. Among the most relevant geographic and demographic issues, mountain in remote area, living environment in climate change, low literacy rate, infrastructure. And these are the current. Lesson learned from the benchmark studies. Among these countries selected. Among them are the countries selected, the countries for the lesson learned in benchmark studies such as Korea, Singapore, United Kingdom, and Estonia. And these four are selected because of well-established e-government practice leading by the well-development and policy access e-government related strategy. Countries like India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, similar of geographic location in the same region, like in the political situation affected by the civil war in conflict. And countries like Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have been selected due to their social norms and cultural defined by Islamic. Sorry. Shall I go back? I want to go back. How? I cannot go back. How can I go back? Anyone can help me? One slide back. One slide back.
I wonder if I could just ask if it's possible for you to describe what's on the slides rather than trying to solve the technical problem, since we do have limited time.
In here you can see the e-government vision. Before that, I will go to the e-government strategic framework. In the e-government strategic framework, we have e-government council, e-government directorate, CIO form, in e-government vision. Now I'm going to, yeah, right. Here you can see the IT Government Development Council, e-government directorate, government CIO form, and external partners, stakeholders. Currently, we have IT Development Council, which is under the second vice president of the country. She is the chair of this council. And we do not have this e-government directorate, but now our strategy in program draft is ready, and we will have this soon. And government CIO form, and we do not have CIO form till now, but from now, next year, in the end of this year, we will have this in external stakeholders. E-government directorate. The e-government directorate will be responsible for this mentioned thing. The e-government directorate will be operated under the Ministry of Communication and will be central coordinating, monitoring, and evaluation officer for the e-government development in Afghanistan. And it will be employed by the National ICT Council and will work in accordance with the policy, strategy, and guidelines set down by the National ICT Council. And it will also chair the Government CIO Council and will take on the role of the e-government CIO. And government CIOs. The government Chief Information Officers is an e-government coordinating body composed of Chief Information Officers or IT, directors and IT head of the all key ministries and agencies of the government. They act as a focal point for the e-government directorate and support e-government directorate in carrying out its responsibility in e-government development, including in providing support in guidance on drafting technical standards and policy. Members of e-government CIOs form also act as the e-government champion, raising awareness about the benefits of e-government in building managerial and grassroots level support for the e-government. SWOC analysis, strengths, leadership, a number of ICT champion in the government, national development policy and strategy, ANDC Afghanistan National Development Strategy, public sector reform in ICT strategy, high demand for the public and within government to tackle corruption, increase transparency in administrative efficiency and effectiveness. Key ICT e-government projects ongoing to develop strategic and technical foundation for e-government. Many agency levels ICT project ongoing. Weakness, very limited awareness of the strategic role e-government in public sector, weak legal and regulatory environment for the e-government, ongoing e-government initiatives in project are oscillated, lack of information exchange and knowledge sharing, organizational culture in public sector, lack of capacity and scale in e-government implementation, weak partnership with the academic in e-government research. Opportunities, rapidly developing mobile and internet services, high demand for expectation from the public for increasing transparency and data corruption, a number of external stakeholders willing to partner with the government in e-government implementation and research, basic infrastructure and legal base for e-government are going to be placed soon. Challenges, cost of telecommunication delivery of government e-services to citizens in remote area, lack of technical and human resource for e-government coordination and implementation, literacy and acceptance of the e-government in the society, privacy of information and freedom of information issues. Thank you.
Thank you.